Are you passionate about living your purpose? And would you like the keys to avoid the ego trap of living your purpose? This show is for you. You are listening to or watching the Sedona Soul Sisters show, where we share psychic guidance and healing to support your embodied spiritual awakening. I'm Christel, and we're on a mission to support spiritual practitioners to access your intuition, awaken your psychic gifts, and live your purpose. I want to thank all of our listeners all over the world, and a special shout out and a blast of love to our listeners in Anchorage, Alaska. You can schedule sessions in West Sedona or virtually for psychic readings, soul contract sessions, Reiki, yoga, meditation, mediumship, angel reading, starseed readings, and more at SedonaSoulSisters.com. It's time to repair the healing web on planet Earth. Today's topic, living your purpose, is near and dear to my heart. This has been a big part of my work for many years, and it's been coming up so often in client sessions recently that I decided to make a podcast episode on it. What I'm finding with some clients is there is a level of distress about feeling that they are not living their purpose and they are not doing what they're here to do. And the focus of this show is to support you to be where you are in your life and to see that your purpose can be lived out in everything that you're doing, which is one of the ego traps of purpose that I really want to highlight. When the unhealthy ego jumps in to say, I need to be doing something different. I need to be doing something that makes me feel more important, or that I make more money, or that people will have a greater respect for me, or that is having a greater impact in the world. My perspective of ego is there is healthy ego that helps you see and express who you are and your soul gifts. The unhealthy ego is the part that keeps you stuck in repeating habit loops. It keeps you stuck in soul contracts that you no longer want. So when I'm talking about the ego traps today, I'm talking about the unhealthy ego and how it wants something so it can feel more important and inflated, and also keep you from truly being present and enjoying what you are experiencing in your life, who you are, what you have achieved and accomplished. One aspect of purpose that I think is so important for spiritual practitioners to continue to anchor ourselves in is that purpose is fundamentally about a state of being, because the unhealthy ego wants to attach it to what I'm doing. I want some important high-paying job. I want to be the president of something. I want to be the CEO. I want to make a bunch of money. The unhealthy ego, and not that any of those things are bad. I think we need more spiritually attuned, soul-aligned people in positions of power in the world. So it is not that I am saying that positions of power are bad. I'm saying when our unhealthy ego pushes us to only be focused on the metaphorical carrot on the stick of chasing something that keeps moving as we're moving towards it, only connecting to the doing aspect without the being deeply embedded and integrated. So what do I mean by that? On a simple level, purpose is more importantly about who you are being when you are doing anything. And ultimately, that is not a quick fix. And it might be that you're doing jobs or tasks that are not glorified in our culture, which sometimes I believe our soul gives us those assignments to put us in check, to be like, are you really committed to living your purpose and embodying what's most important to you? Are you focused on the unhealthy aspects of how it looks from the outside, or how the unhealthy ego approaches it? If we are first looking at purpose as a state of being, which takes a lot of practice, especially in our culture that is so focused on instant results and not landing in our presence. If you stop to ask yourself, what are the qualities of being that you want to be bringing more of into your personal life, into your closest relationships, into your work, into your career, into the world? What are the qualities that you want to amplify in your life, through your own life? For me, it is presence, play, pleasure, embodied love. And when I focus on those states of being, then the question becomes, am I being those things as much as possible throughout my day? When I am dealing with the fact that there is a virus on my computer and that there's charges on my bank statement that I have to dispute, who am I being when I'm interacting, trying to resolve these real world issues that take a lot of time? That is where we are shining a spotlight on our purpose. It's easy to be in the qualities that we most value when things are going great. I'm having an amazing day. I'm recording the podcast. A new client just came to me that I love working with, or somebody just asked me out on a date, or whatever great thing. When we're at our best, it's easier to embody the qualities that are most important. Yet for me, I look at purpose as my soul assignment. I was focused on purpose in my work with clients for many years. Then my guidance came through and said, look, I think you need to talk about soul assignment in addition to purpose. And sometimes talk about the assignment and not the purpose, because purpose has been hijacked by the unhealthy ego, that I have to be doing something that looks really important and that feels really important to me, rather than the simple qualities of being that I am bringing into whatever I'm doing. And it's easy to run from that because that can be confronting. Like, I have to say, there have been moments in the last couple of days when I've been dealing with these real world challenges that are part of being human and dealing with technology that I have been frustrated. And yesterday it was just me and my laptop and YouTube videos trying to get this virus off of my computer. So it wasn't with another person. Yet in the moments that I would remember to pull back my energy from just like, I need to fix this, and the frustration of trying to fix my computer, to going over to my altar, asking for support from my guidance, lighting a candle, making offerings at my altar to the guides that especially help me navigate challenges. This aspect is the purpose of bringing who I am into what I'm doing. If we're looking at soul assignment as we are assigned things that are often specifically intended to unlock the grip of the unhealthy ego. A very real example for me is purchasing Sedona Soul Sisters. There are so many things that I am doing that are not what is my favorite part of being engaged in this kind of business. Working with clients is my very favorite part. Yet over the last 3 months since I took over, I have spent more time behind my computer than I have with clients. And I understand that that is part of the assignment. There was a lot of back-end work that needed to be transferred over to me, that needed to be cleaned up, that the website needed to be completely remade. In a way, when I can look at my soul assignment as part of living my purpose, My purpose is to support clients, to work in person with people, to work remotely with people as a teacher, a coach, a mentor, a healer, an artist. These are all part of it, yet part of the assignment is setting up the technology and the aspects that will support the business, not only myself, but for other practitioners. When we weave these two aspects together, the soul assignment and the soul purpose, and we first look at the being qualities in the things we're doing. I have found recently that clients have been really stressed about feeling like they are not living their purpose. It's like this existential crisis. I think part of that is because of the intensity of the world is this seeking meaning in life, which I think is a fundamental urge and desire for humans. If it is always this thing that is out in front, there's never going to be an enjoyment of it, a delighting in it. When you dial back to focusing on the qualities that are most important in your purpose, what you are meant to be doing, if that is meant to shift in a way, you're going to shift careers, you're going to shift jobs, you're going to become an entrepreneur, you're going to change the doing aspect of your work in some way, and focusing first on the being part and really landing where you are. In my example, it's easy for me to have moments of feeling frustrated that there is so much work for me to do behind the computer in order to build a successful business. Yet when I'm in the angst or the fight or flight with that, it shifts me out of the energy that I want to be broadcasting into the world, which is embodied purpose, which is presence, which is accepting my soul assignment. Part of why I share these things is because even though this is my career and literally has been my life's work since I was a small child, there are still aspects of it that aren't easy for me, that are conscious practice. And I share that because clients are hard on themselves. There's a way of it not being good enough. And so part of it is to humanize the experience. This is a common struggle. And the more that I can soften the monkey mind's idea of I should be doing something different, is to first land in the present moment. You can't be late for the present moment. Let me say that again. You can't be late for the present moment. And so much of the angst that I am seeing with clients is this fighting what is. I want to somehow feel better in this moment, which means it has to be something other than what it is. And that is the carrot on the stick that will keep you chasing it forever. You won't have the experience, even if you get the ultimate job or start your own company or write the book that you've been wanting to write. There's still going to be that existential crisis. So my invitation to you is to be where you are. Breathe in what you're in. Like for me, these aspects of the business building aspects of Sedona Soul Sisters, there's still a lot on my plate. There's less because I've gotten a lot done, but the virus that I'm handling, the charge on my credit card that I need to dispute, those are things that are still on my plate when I can move my attention into a state of, okay, this isn't what I want to be doing with my time. I work with my guides to clear the path. I breathe. I trust. I also ask the question because I believe we are creators. We are conscious creators, but more often we are unconscious creators. So then in these experiences that I am having, if I unconsciously created this virus on my computer, what is the invitation? That supports me to move out of the fight state. It also helps me reclaim my power so I'm not in a state of feeling like a victim. Like there are these bad hackers out there that are doing these things and why are they doing it? And staying in this fight or flight state of my nervous system. If I unconsciously created this, what is the invitation? And when I asked myself that question earlier today, it completely changed my experience. Because it could be easy to ask the question, how is trying to clear this virus from my laptop related to my purpose? I could just be in a stressed state about that instead of seeing the invitation of how do I approach and navigate this situation? And how is this challenge an invitation to align even more powerfully with my purpose? So here's what the answer was when I calmed my nervous system to really tune into my guidance. The guidance said, clean up your laptop, eliminate old projects that are incomplete so you can focus on the most important creative projects to move forward now. From that state, I feel completely different. I am no longer in this battle with the virus, with the computer hacker people. I'm no longer feeling victimized by this. I see it as an invitation to align my energy with the projects that are most important for me to move forward with, especially in 2024. Because the truth is, I'm an idea person, and I've been doing this work for decades. And there's a part of me that wants to create a legacy in my body of work. I want to write books. I want to publish more podcast episodes. There's so much that I want to create. So in this invitation of accepting this, dealing with the virus on my computer as an assignment, now I've moved out of a stress state. I've accepted the assignment, and it's clear what the invitation is, why it's happening, and how it's in support of me living my purpose, in activating my purpose more fully in my work. It's totally clear why I unconsciously created this. The key part of that is the only way I got that guidance was to slow down and to move into a state of being rather than just being in a stress state of fighting what is and wanting it to be, I'm working on my book, I'm working on the latest podcast episode, I'm working on the open house that's happening soon, I'm blah, 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 blah. Instead, I landed in my being to see what the invitation is and how this is supporting me to live my purpose more beautifully in my work and in my life. I find the invitation to move into the qualities of being as the first level of purpose. I find so many people resist that. Partly because the practice of being isn't a consistent practice, which is why so many of the episodes that I have created since I've taken over the show have been about mindfulness, have been about being present with yourself. Because first, it's being able to turn the attention inward, to focus on and feel who you are, who you want to be, and then creating from the inside out. When we are trying to shift our external environment, it's coming from a stressed state. If we're trying to shift the external environment disconnected from the inside, it's most often coming from a stress response, which is why I'm inviting you to move into a more connected, more aligned state of being, focusing on the qualities that you want to bring into the world and make it simple and tangible. What is my purpose today? Because the question, what is my purpose? What is the meaning? What am I supposed to be doing here? These are massive questions which the stressed mind thinks that there's a right or wrong answer, and that if you get it wrong, you're going to fail your whole life. From my perspective, is absolutely not true, but that's what the stressed mind does, is it makes it an emergency and it makes this impossible mountain to climb. Yet, the invitation on focusing on purpose as a quality of being first is, what is my purpose in the next hour? What is the qualities of being that I'm bringing into my day when I am engaging with my children, when I'm engaging with my partner, when I'm engaging with a coworker that I have challenges with, when I'm engaging with whatever. Make the question, what is my purpose, much smaller and more doable, Because if we keep the question impossible, it's that metaphorical carrot on a stick out in front of you. You will never reach it. You will never be satisfied. You won't achieve the integrated enjoyment of embodying your purpose and being and doing what you most want to in the world. In making purpose qualities of being, making them into small and doable projects. What is the quality of being I most want to bring into my lunchtime with a friend I'm catching up with? What is the quality of being I'm bringing into my interaction with my children after school? What is the quality of being I'm bringing into interacting with my partner after a long and full day of both of us working, of us supporting the children, and then finally having time alone? What is the quality of being I'm bringing into that interaction? Making it doable, making it grounded and possible so that then who you are being is satisfying and fueling your soul. Rather than if it's only the external that we're chasing, we're going to continue to be stressed and unsatisfied. When you start living your life from the inside out, when you start living your purpose from the inside out, meaning a quality of being, qualities of being first, then pathways for doing open miraculously, beautifully, and much more quickly than if we tried to muscle it or force it in a way. You may have heard my story about my guidance telling me 2 weeks before I was moving to Sedona that I would be opening a healing center. Yet I received that without resistance. I was just like, okay, that will probably take some time for that to happen, maybe years, but I just received the guidance. Then after I was here and I found the listing of Ivory selling the business and we began initial contact, I found and connected with Ivory within 30 days of me arriving here. I think less than 5 weeks after that we had signed the paperwork and the keys in the center were passed on to me, which was shocking. Yet I think part of why that happened was because I received the soul assignment. I tuned into the purpose of me taking over the business, even though there were aspects of my unhealthy ego that were like, why do you want me to do that? And also thinking that it was impossible. I just kept showing up with trust. If this is meant to be, if this is meant to be part of my soul assignment and part of my purpose in making a greater impact in the world, in building a beautiful center, then it will happen with ease. I wasn't going to force anything. I just was like, all right, if this is the healing center that you said I was going to open, okay. And then it happened so quickly. Part of why I think that happened was because I didn't have any agenda. When guidance told me I was going to be opening a healing center, if anything, I was a little bit resistant because I was like, brick and mortar business? What the heck? Yet I received the assignment. I tuned into the Akashic records. I tuned into the soul of the business and asked questions and looked at the vision and asked why me. The vision was clear. At that point, because it happened so quickly, I didn't really evaluate that I was going to be everything and that I was going to be working really hard at first, right? Like, I'm the tech person. I'm the receptionist. I'm the practitioner. I'm the cleaning lady. I am the marketing person. I am the everything. And that's been a lot. And a lot of the things I've had to learn along the way. And some of it has been really challenging. Yet when I received the soul assignment and could see the bigger vision of how this is aligned with my purpose, I've just been taking steps and actions since then and doing my best to continue anchoring myself in the quality of being, in what I am doing, and in trusting the vision to unfold beautifully. And why I think this happened so quickly is because it wasn't from the outside in. It wasn't my ego that said, I want to buy this business. It was guidance that guided me to it. And this started months and months and months before. it was early in 2023 that my guidance was like, you're going to start working in person and hands-on with people again, and it's not going to be massage. And I was like, okay, what's that going to be? So I followed guidance. And then when I came here in the summer, my guidance says, move here. And I said, okay. And then shortly 2 weeks before I moved here, you know this part of the story. But part of it is now looking back, I can see how my guidance was steering me towards my purpose. When I started the conversation, I was asking, how does this connect into my business? Because I have my own personal brand outside of Sedona Soul Sisters that is focused on supporting empowered healers, which I believe we're all healers, yet often my work is supporting healers and building a purpose-based business. So my question was like, how does this relate to opening, to running, to being the steward of a healing center in Sedona? And here's the part that is so massive when we don't let our egos trap us in trying to create something from the outside in. Our guidance, our soul, wisdom is so much more miraculous and powerful than the unhealthy ego. So I share these stories with you in hopes of helping you see the invitations that are present in your life and how you can turn your focus more easily to the inside, to the states of being that you are already embodying, amplifying the qualities you want to have more of, looking how you can bring that into what you're already doing, and then following your guidance as opportunities open. I so often find, like I said, that carrot on a stick that just keeps moving out in front of you, that for some reason people get it in their mind that what they're doing isn't their purpose. Like I recently had a client come in, was like, I'm meant to do healing work. And I said to her, you are doing healing work. You've been doing healing work for 30 years. But she had been to another psychic that had told her that she was meant to be doing this work a long time ago, which of course breaks my heart. There's all kinds of things, and sometimes we have hard lessons. Yet from my perspective, it's like, focus on the quality of being first. Do your best to enjoy what you're doing and make shifts from there, because then you're doing it from an integrated place, which is where the path unfolds beautifully and miraculously. And that's why I've shared this story of me becoming the new steward and owner of Sedona Soul Sisters, because that has been so many miracles. I am totally clear that if it was my unhealthy ego that wanted me to buy a business so I could be a business owner and there would have just been roadblock after roadblock. But instead, because it was a soul assignment, I just followed guidance. I kept showing up, taking one step in front of the other and trusting that it's aligned with the bigger vision and that this assignment is ideal for me with the gifts and talents and challenges that I've faced in my life. I hope this episode has been helpful for you in tapping into the power of being first, bringing your being into everything that you're doing, looking for purpose in what you're already doing in your life, and then following guidance from there. Because yes, there may be a career shift in the works for you. Yet when you do it from the inside out, it's going to happen with much greater ease, connection, and aligned to your true soul assignment and soul purpose, and not fueling the unhealthy ego or the monkey mind. Thank you for being a part of our community. I'm honored to support your embodied spiritual awakening and living your purpose. I offer purpose sessions, which are 90-minute sessions, which are a deep dive into this topic. So we look at where you are in your life, where you'd like to be, and the next best steps to really turn your attention and energy onto the timeline of what you want to be experiencing. The purpose session is an integration of energy healing, psychic work, coaching, and timeline work, and they can be powerful sessions to support you in living aligned with your purpose. If this sounds like a good fit, you can give me a call, or you can book your session at sedonasoulsisters.com/Christel. Please leave a review and follow on your favorite podcast app. Until next time, breathe gently, listen to your guidance, and create miracles.